Hello everyone, welcome back to Linda Sue Plants for You. I'm Linda. Okay, we're gonna do a little repotting today. These are the plants that I showed you in my last video, and I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get to this today or not, but I am able, so I am going to move forward with that. And this one I am going to just set aside for now. This is my China doll, and I had left some questions regarding my dilemma of what to do with this, so I'll wait till I hear back from some of my plant friends, and maybe in the meantime I'll come up with an idea later when my husband gets home. But otherwise we're going to just leave this one, set this one aside. And we're going to go ahead and repot some of these. Now this one, this is the zebra plant that my husband got. He fell in love with it, and yeah, it's neat looking, but I've heard so many bad things about it and how hard they are to grow and what have you, so I didn't want to get it, but but I did, and I've been trying to take care of it for him. It is a little bit challenging. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it likes to get on the dry side, but not completely dried out, like some of my plants. And I've been trying to take cuttings from these, and both times I took 2 cuttings, and I ended up, one made it and one didn't, and I did them exactly the same way, so I don't get it. But I did take a cutting that did make it, and I'm going to stick that in there. And I showed you guys this on my last video. I've got some other things. Oh, look at this. I gotta show you this. I didn't even know this happened. This is a leaf from my watermelon peperomia. And I've never rooted it this way before. I've always rooted it by the leaf cuttings, you know, where you slice the leaf and put it in the soil. But I like that method, and look at the leaves on there. And this has only been, gosh, I don't think it's been 2 weeks. So that is very exciting. I'm going to have to take some more of these because I absolutely love this plant, and my original one I had issues with. I'm still trying to nurse that one back to life, so now that I know I can do this successfully in water, wow, I'm going to do some more of that. And like I said, I didn't do anything special. I just cut off. I know it's important to use a good leaf, though. Don't try to do that with a leaf that's half dead or dying or has something wrong with it. You want to cut a good, viable leaf off, and then all I did was stick it in tap water, actually, so that worked out well. Okay, now in looking closer at this zebra plant, I'm a little bit concerned about what I'm seeing on these leaves. I don't think it's fungus, but it's possible, because this plant was very close to my big golden pothos that was like 12-13 feet tall. That is coming back, by the way, my friends. I cut it all the way down to nothing. I kept the root ball, and I put it outside and watered it, and I've got leaves growing on it, so it didn't die, but it's going to be a long time, I'm sure, before it gets back to where it was. But that was right next to this, and that one was covered in fungus, and the only thing that we could come up with for an explanation was that we had a problem with it just outside that door in front of our porch on our hostas, and my husband sprayed it with the fungicide spray with copper. And I'm not sure why, but I had heard from several different people that I have a lot of respect for in the plant world that it's really important to get the one with copper. If you have a more detailed explanation of that, you'll have to do the research on that. But anyway, so You know what? I'm going to cut that off because I know it's very highly contagious. And I think this might just be a watering issue. But, I'm not sure. And I'm not going to chance it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and cut. I'm going to cut this leaf off, and I'm going to cut this leaf off. And pardon my shaking, folks. This, I have nerve damage in this arm, and it was rather subtle for a very long time, but after my fall, it became 10 times worse. We're still hoping that that's going to be able to heal at some point, but in the meantime, it's very annoying, and I just want to let you know that's what it's from. So keep that in your prayers for me, because it's difficult to live with, because you forget that it's there, and you go to grab something and it falls out of your hand because you can't hold on to it. So, all right, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. The light is really bright in my eyes. There, I think that might be better for you. Okay. So let's make the hole a little bigger here. How are you guys all doing out there? How are you weathering the goings-on of the world? I know it can be very trying, and I know that families with children especially, I have a great-grandson that my granddaughter works full-time, but she now takes him to work. She's a caregiver, and they allow her to do that, so that's what she's doing, because she doesn't want to put him in daycare. She's petrified that he's going to either get sick himself or contract it and get one of us sick. So she's struggling with that, and it's hard on him too because he misses his friends. But hopefully there'll be some answers here pretty soon. Alright, I think the other thing I'm going to do, I don't like the way this leaf looks. It looks like something was chewing on it. And I think I want to cut that off. In fact, I'm going to cut that off. As cute as it is, and symmetrical as this branch is, I'm going to try to start out with a fresh slate here. So I'm going to give this time to recool. Oh, here's some more black. I'm going to cut that off too, because typically when you see a dark spot on a leaf in a circular shape and it has a ring around it, like a yellow ring around it, I know this isn't very big, but that to me looks like fungal issue. So I'm going to get that out of there before it has a chance to get any worse. And I'm going to spray this with my copper fungicide that my husband put together for me in a spray bottle. So I will do that and put this back where I had it. And keep our fingers crossed, hope for the best. And then my next step on this one is I'm going to be cutting this one, this taller one, and ridding that and putting that down in there. So, and you can see on here, I think you can, hope you can see where the little stub is here. That's where I cut this one off of, and then this one grew. So I'm having pretty good success with the propagation of this plant. I hope it continues. I'm going to cut this leaf off too, just because it's shading the other growth and it's laying on the soil, and you never want your leaves to be touching the soil. That's the quickest way of getting rot. Uh-oh, and I just saw another one that I think might have fungus on it. Oh boy, this is not good. Well, all is not lost. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It's kind of a wonky looking plant anyway right now, but I'm going to continue to try and baby it back to a big, beautiful, bushy, healthy looking plant. And I think we'll get there eventually. Okay, alright, so much for that guy. And then there's him. Alright, let's get my trusty green. Now, you know, some of you will remember I don't, uh-oh, I just broke it off. Okay. I gotta check my... I think that'll be better. Sometimes I reuse the soil and sometimes I don't. Mostly I don't. But if it's something that had just been repotted in the last several months and I know that there's nothing wrong with the plant and the soil still smells good, I will reuse it. But if I'm ever in doubt, I always err on the side of caution and I get rid of it. And, you know, I know it's a little extra expense, but it isn't compared to what might happen if you've got issues with that soil that you don't know about and it kills your plant. So I just, you know, weigh out my options, and that's usually the direction that I tend to go in. Now this is that plant I told you about in my last video that I got during the winter months, and when I was editing that video and I could see this up close on the screen, I noticed, I think this is an aloe. I couldn't see that in regular real life here, but I did see it on the screen where it's a little more magnified. And I could see the telltale signs of an aloe, so I think that's what this is. I don't know what kind of aloe it is, but I do believe it is from the aloe family. And I'm going to just take this whole thing apart here and then salvage what is salvageable and toss the rest. And remember, I said this was nobody's fault but my own. I just plain didn't take care of it. That's hard for me to admit, but it's the truth. I think we've all been there. Okay, this is extremely dried out. I think you can see. And root bound. Oh, I'm going to have to stand it. Ooh, 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 okay. Another one that wants to fall off. This has got green growing up the middle of it. Do I save it? Do I just cut off all this bad stuff and try and save it? Or do I just get rid of it? It's weird. These roots they're white and they're healthy. How crazy is that? I don't think I'm going to. And if this is a rare, highly sought after plant, I might be doing something a little different, but you know, I don't have a whole lot of room. So I don't want to take up room with plants that don't have any meaning for me. My plants that have meaning to me are ones that, first and foremost, they were gifts from someone. Those mean a lot to me. And secondly, if they're rare or hard to find. And of course I have a few favorites. We all do. I think if I had to pick one, I think I saw a couple videos where the question was asked, if your house was on fire and you could only grab one plant, which one would it be? And I really had a hard time answering that. Okay, I'm gonna just cut this one out. Oh yeah, there was really nothing left there. My first one would be the peace lily for my dad's wake. There's a long story behind that. I won't go into it right now. Many of you have probably already seen my video with me talking about that. So that would be my first one, even though peace lily is a very common plant. It really has a story behind it. And my second one is going to be my Pilea peperomoides, because that has a little bit of a story behind it too, but it's such a beautiful plant and it's so unlike any other. So, and it took a long time to grow it from 3 little leaves about this tall to that big humongous plant that I have right now. Alright, I think that's gonna work for that. Now I'm gonna add a little sand in this soil mixture for this plant only because it is a succulent. I do believe it is an aloe, and when I have aloes or succulents or cactus, I usually add sand if I have it, because they do like that. So this is decorative sand that I have here, and normally I would like to use a more coarse sand, but I can't. I have a little bag of it out on my back porch, but it's in a spot that I cannot get at right now, so I'm gonna just use this, and it'll be fine. Okay, so and I'm gonna put them in a fresh pot, and I'll clean up the other one. I don't like using dirty pots. It's just something about that and I know many people do. And if there's nothing wrong with the plant, then there's nothing wrong with reusing it without washing it. This is just a pet peeve of mine, so you can, you know, choose your own path. I just think it's a good idea to get in the habit of using clean pots, clean soil, clean utensils. It just cuts down on the chances of having any kind of issues. And I know not everyone can do that. Some people are on a very, very tight budget and they can't afford to do it. So I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying that's what I do. Alright, I'm going to put some soil in here. Making quite a mess, aren't I? Almost dropped it. That would not have been good. A bag of sand. How would you even clean that up? I suppose a vacuum. But I dropped an egg on the floor the other day. I was trying to make myself some eggs for lunch, and I picked it up with my left arm, and well, you saw what happened when I just tried to pick this up, and away it went flying through the air and landed on my throw rug in my kitchen that I keep one in front of my sink and one in front of my stove. And I mean, what a place for it to fall and break. Raw egg on a rug. That was not fun cleaning that up. Okay. Let's put these in. Put too much in. I gotta take better care of this plant now that I'm going through all this. You guys can hold me to task on this, okay? You can keep an eye on it, or let me know if I don't show it in a while, and just say, hey, whatever happened to that mystery aloe plant that you almost killed? Sometimes when you have to answer to somebody for something, you tend to be more diligent, right? Okay. I think I'm just going to add that one when it's got a root on it. So I think I'm going to just put the soil in here, and then I'll make a hole and stick this one in it because I can't hold it with the other hand. So yeah, I had been wanting to address this plant for a while, but you know, I have other plants that needed addressing, and there's so many hours in a day, and I'm not even able to do something every day. So on the days when I am, I try to do as much as I can. So on the days that I can't, I don't have to feel guilty. Okay. Come on, guy, are you going to stand up in there? Or, you know what? I'm going to put some water in there. That'll do it. Okay. And I have to get this done today because my great-grandson is coming over later and spending the night. And he always insists that my husband, his great-grandpa, he calls him Papa, so we just run with it. Now I just cut the bottom off of this, and I probably shouldn't have. I should have let it callus over, because typically people will tell you to do that so it doesn't get any bacteria up in there. I honestly, I don't think I've ever let anything callus over. If I did, it was only because I didn't have time to repot it. So I'm going to just stick it in there anyway. And I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. You know, it could happen. Where bacteria could get up in there and ruin it. But again, this is not I don't remember what I was going to say, but okay, let's put this down in here. And I started to see with my grandson, my great-grandson, he loves Papa's German pancakes. And they're made in a pie plate, with eggs and flour and a little oil and salt. And you bake them, and the size of them reach for the sky, and they're pretty neat looking, and I think that's why he likes them, because they look kind of like they're from outer space when you first take them out of the oven. Anyway, he absolutely loves them, and it's pretty much all eggs, so they're good for him. So we always, I should say, my husband always makes those for him on the weekend. And last time he was here, I forgot, and I had my table full of stuff. And my husband wasn't too happy. He's a pretty good egg. He puts up with a lot when it comes to my plants. But he was in a mood that day, and whew, I heard him banging around in here. I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm trying to make room on the table so we can eat breakfast at the table." I said, "Oh, okay." Well, yeah, so don't want to have that problem again tomorrow. So I'm going to finish this up. It shouldn't take too much longer. And then I can have my granddaughter move my big tub of dirt. My big black tub of dirt, most of you have seen. I just keep that on the table because I can't lift it right now. So that just stays here so that if I have to repot something, I can do it without having to wait for someone to come to my house. Okay, so here it is. I think that looks much better, and I think she's going to be okay. And I'm kind of glad that it's separated, because maybe I'll have to share this plant with my girls. And if they have their own stem and their own root system, it's a lot easier to do. I don't know about this one though. This one's kind of, we'll see what happens. We'll leave it for now. Alright. Now, the saucer seems awful big for this, but I have a lot of this size, so we're just going to leave it, I guess. Alright. Two down and two to go. Alright, my philodendron dubium. This was from Suzette. And somebody said something to me about, I think it was my sister-in-law that made some comment that when I watch your videos, I'm not sure if I'm watching yours or Suzette's, because there's a lot of both of you, and I guess there is. Suzette and I are very, very good friends. We talk every day. I initially met her through YouTube, and we just really hit it off. We got a lot of things in common, and it's really almost uncanny. In fact, she was showing me her kitchen one time through our phones, because she was trying to show me something in there, and I happened to notice her cupboards, and she had the same handles on her cupboards that we did. We're both kind of old-fashioned that way, but I just thought that was really odd, because I have never seen these handles anywhere that I have on my cupboard. And we both love elephants, and we both collect antiques, and we just have a lot in common. Okay, so we'll use up that soil, because that's fine to do. And actually, our husbands are a lot alike as well, which is, that's just another plus, because we understand each other, you know. And Suzette has sent me a lot of plants. So if you hear me mentioning her name a lot, those are the reasons why. And I never get tired of talking about my friends. I hope you guys don't get tired of hearing it. I didn't want to do that. I'm going to put it in there. The soil that's in here is pretty old, so I don't want that in there. There's a tiny, I don't know if you can see that. I don't think that's part of the plant, but it's coming out the middle. Oh no, it's not. Okay. Okay, I forgot to turn my camera back on. There you are. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, this one, boy, I thought she'd have more roots than this. I mean, I guess that's a pretty good amount for this size, but I just thought, being a philodendron, that there would be more roots in here. I fully expected this to be very pot bound, and it wasn't. Which is okay, it's neither here nor there. Okay. Well, I got a feeling this one's going to really take off now that it's in a bigger pot. And I can't wait. I have to be careful though, because I'm kind of running out of room of places to display my plants properly without them being one on top of another. Boy, let's put some water and see what happens. She doesn't want to stand up all of a sudden. Hopefully that'll help. I know I'm too far from this camera, and I apologize, folks. Because I have limited use of my left hand here, I'm having to relearn a new way of making sure that everything I'm doing is in the screen, in the screenshot. I mean, normally I would have this over a lot more, and I'd be able to get the dirt with my other hand, but I can't do that right now, so ugh. Just bear with me. And I know how frustrating that can be, because when I'm watching videos and what they're doing isn't in the camera, I get frustrated too. It's like, well, I don't want to see that. I want to see what you're doing. So I get it. Boy. I don't know why that's doing that. It was in there so solid. And I don't want to go too high with this soil because I know that that's not good. That's going to rot this stem. If I get the water level up above where it was, that's a good, sure way to kill it. Ugh. I may have to put a support in here. And I don't think I have one in here right now. Okay, well, we'll just leave this. Yeah, I think I might have to put a support in there. It's really just not very sturdy. Oh, I don't have to wash the saucer off too. Yep, there it goes. Okay, well, I know I have some around here that I can use, so I'll do that later. But we have one more plant to repot, so let's get that done. And that's my little Hoya Biolata. And you'll see that I'm putting it in the same size pot, but I want to use a fresh pot. I don't want to use this. And I know some people like that, and they like the patina. I do too, because I'm very much into antiques. But when it comes to my plants, I don't know. I have a thing about that. About having fresh pots and fresh soil. So we're going to start off with a clean, fresh pot. There. Now you can see what I'm doing, maybe? Oh boy. This is kind of why it's been so long since I did videos, because it's just difficult to do. Okay. Hand up. And let's do this. I want to put some fresh soil in here. It's a pretty good root ball in there. Okay. I'm going to have to get a saucer for her. I don't know if it's a her or if it's a he. It's funny how we do that. And I think I have some plants that I refer to as in the male gender without even realizing it. I think we attach those. I know some plant moms and dads call all their plants she, and some call all their plants he. Some people name all their plants. I would never remember all those names. And I think for me it's a matter of if it has a more masculine look to it, then I probably refer to it as a he. And if it has a more dainty look to it, I probably refer to it as a she. I don't know for sure, but that might be why I do that. Or how I do it, I should say. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. I was watching Crazy Plant Guy the other day. He's really come a long way. I watched him from his very first video, and my goodness, he's really come a long way with his plants. And he had Peggy from Peggy's Tropical Gardens on there as a guest. And I just love her. She's so, I don't know, her delivery on her videos is so calm and relaxing, and she's always so upbeat and happy, and I just love watching her. And her plants are always really healthy, and she's just got a very laid-back spirit, and I really appreciate that. If you're watching, Peggy, hello. That was quite a that was a neat thing for him to do. And I've been seeing more and more of that lately. And it's kind of neat to see, you know, plant moms and dads reaching out to other plant moms and dads. I love to see that. We're all in this together. Okay. Get my tags back in so I don't forget what they are. Alrighty. I think that's going to perk up. She's a little dehydrated, so I think she'll be fine in an hour or two. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to clean up this mess, and then I'll give you an overall view of how they look in just a few minutes. Alright, and here we are, all cleaned up and ready to be put back in their home spot. I did find a skewer. It's actually a barbecue skewer. And I'm using that, excuse me, to tie up this philodendron just for now. I know I have some more, somewhere thicker ones, and when I find them I will redo that. But they're all ready to go now. I can see now that I'm up closer to it that these leaves need to be washed off. They're dusty, so I will do that before I put it away. And this is the end result. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm hoping I'm bringing you content that is helpful. I'm going to try and get this loaded up to YouTube this evening yet, but I'm not sure if I will because my grandson's coming over, and I'm excited about that. But either way, I will have this one up by tomorrow, if not tonight. And this is Friday that I'm recording. But you can see now they're all fresh and clean. I got new saucers, or I should say clean saucers. And I just think that looks so nice. Okay, well I have to get these put in their semi-permanent homes and get them off the table and then I will be working on editing. I thank you all again for coming and spending the time with me. I thank you all for your comments and your support. If you haven't subscribed, I have a lot of viewers overall. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And then if you like the video and you want to give me a thumbs up, that would be great too. Alright. Well, I will be back. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye now.